AI is really about, in my opinion, it's really about building agents and understanding agency. And so an agent is anything that acts. A lot of what we do in AI is we're building models and systems that are going to try and do something. But a lot of the time we assume that there's just one thing doing something. Our system is the thing that's doing something. And that's really not how the world works. The way the world works is there's lots of agents out there. They all have their own priorities. They all have their own goals. They're not all under the control of the person who's building one agent. And once you have that kind of situation, the way that these guys interact is different. It's qualitatively different. And it produces all kinds of different effects. And so the way that I think about that is using game theory. That's just a mathematical way of thinking about interactions between agents that all have their own priorities. And I claim that that's a really important part of AI. Really understanding how you get multiple agents to interact is something that we need to figure out if we're going to successfully work on artificial intelligence.
Okay, so we're kind of taking the lessons that we learned from how people interact with other people and translating that when we're building these models.
Absolutely. So the classical game theory is very much a mathematical field. It starts from assumptions and then thinks about what are the implications of those assumptions. Mm-hmm. But one of the assumptions that it makes is that everybody's perfectly rational. And so it makes these predictions that turn out not to match up super well with what happens in the real world.
Not my experience.
It turns out that people are not all perfectly rational. You might know some who aren't.
You might be some.
I might constantly be some, yes. And so part of what's different about my work is exactly bringing in understanding what people are doing as well. So I use a certain kind of game theory called behavioral game theory that incorporates modeling how people act and how people really reason about these situations, even though they're not magic. They can't perfectly optimize any function. They have to work with the information they have.
Very cool.